And welcome back for another episode of Highly Debated. So let's jump right into the card. We have the last crescendo. This is Beterbiev versus Bivol 2, the rematch after Beterbiev won the first fight. This is February 22nd. That will be the main event. So let's start off right there. The main event, I just rewatched the first fight. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the first fight, it was a good fight, but I don't think it was an all-time fight like a lot of people like to talk about. I don't think it was that great. Are we going to put it at the same level of, let's say, you know what? Never mind. There's just the first fight. I just rewatched it, and personally, I gave Bivol the first 3 to 4 rounds. I didn't count them exactly. I was just like watching it over again just to see if I thought who won was the same as when I watched it live. And for the second time again, I feel like Beterbiev won a close fight. I thought a split decision would be fair. When I watched it again today, I feel like if you saw Bivol win, I don't think you're in the wrong to think that Bivol might have won that. The thing is, though, that towards the end of the fight, the optics of the fight didn't really play into Bivol's favor. We saw him running around a lot. We saw him not throw punches for almost 2 rounds. The last 2 rounds, he seemed kind of gassed. He tried a flurry, but the flurries really weren't working out for him. And, you know, that's where he had a lot of success in the beginning. He had a lot of volume punching. He had long combinations that really worked out well for him and kept Beterbiev at distance. And for Beterbiev, what he did really well is just put on relentless pressure, left it all out there, and really tried hurting Bivol. At the same time, that's kind of what was his downfall. I feel like this second fight is really going to come down to the adjustments, but I don't know who would make the adjustments, right? They're both elite fighters, so they're gonna want to win. And I think, I don't know, I'm just not left with the sentiment of Bivol is, you know, equal to Beterbiev. Although it's crazy to say that because it's the first time he ever went to the distance. So it's the first time he ever went to 12 rounds. The fact that Bivol took him to 12 rounds, I think speaks a lot on his chin and his conditioning and his boxing skills. I mean, he was doing a great job in those first 4 rounds, the way he was piecing up Beterbiev and then moving out the way and boxing. But the problem is that everyone knows that you can't win a fight in the judges' eyes. It's very hard to win a fight when you're running backwards, when you're moving backwards, not necessarily running. But when you have a lot of movement going backwards, although you might be counter-punching or you might be landing the better counter punches, it's not the best optics. And sometimes a judge might judge in favor of the fighter who's actually coming on with the relentless pressure, as long as they're not getting caught like super clean, which is the caveat to why Bivol won the first couple rounds. I think is because we know Beterbiev is a slow starter, but Bivol was doing a great job with his combination punching, his parallel movement. He really got out of the corners. He wouldn't be allowed. Throughout the whole fight, he did a great job not being caught against the ropes, which is like a key for the second fight as well. I don't know how much of his game plan can he adjust, because the thing is, I don't think he punches hard enough to actually stop Beterbiev. Beterbiev got hurt once, but if I was Bivol, you would be sitting more on your punches, right? You want to earn this guy's respect and back him up. And even then, I don't think it's going to happen. So you're going to have to work on that jab, work on being crispy, and really deepen your conditioning to where you can fight the first 4 rounds for 10 to 12 rounds, where there is no, like, all 10 to 12 rounds have to look like the first 4 of the first fight. Because if they don't, then it becomes a Beterbiev fight. There's that. And I think if he could do that, you know, he could win the fight. Now, I think that path to winning a fight might be the simplest way for either fighter to win the fight. So I think if Bivol says, I'm going to do the same thing I did in the 4 rounds for 12 rounds. I'm not saying that you can, because it's the second time around. So now Beterbiev can make adjustments to your fighting style. I mean, he's been in there with you before, so it's not the same thing. I don't know. I think that if you're Bivol, your best shot is to fight like you did in those first 4 rounds. Dude was fighting nice. He looked nice. In one place, I think a guy of Canelo's size was always going to have a hard time to do that to him. And I saw an interview where Bivol said that Beterbiev hits harder than Canelo. That Canelo hits kind of the same, actually. He said they kind of hit similar, but the difference is that Canelo has to put a lot more effort into his punches to, have a significant impact, where, Beterbiev is not the case. He just fucking, does whatever the fuck he's got to do and motherfuckers go to sleep. That path to victory is the most simple. His combination punching that he did successfully for the first 4 rounds. So if he can do that for 12 rounds, then I think he might be able to take the fight. Now, if you're Beterbiev, I think what you should be doing is not only starting sooner, but going to the body sooner. His corner kept indicating to him that he needs to start punching to the body, but we failed to see that from him often. The most significant body shot that I noticed him land was like in the 5th round, honestly, somewhere that late. And if you're gonna stop a guy like Bivol, you're gonna have to slow him down. He didn't stop moving for 12 rounds, but I think that's what cost him the fight, right? Moving backwards so much, and that's what gave his success. To build on that success, you keep the same pace. For you to as an insurance plan, what you're gonna do, you're the heavier puncher, so what you're trying to do is slow this guy down to land a better punch. So you wanna deflate those wheels like fucking Teddy Atlas says. You wanna start punching at the body, and then as you punch at the body, this guy slows down a little bit, starts dropping his hands as you go into the deeper rounds, because I don't think that Bivol could stop Beterbiev, but as they go into the deeper rounds, that's where you're gonna see that work pay off. So then the opportunity for Beterbiev to actually go to the head will be there. In the first fight, he did a lot of head hunting, and his corner mentioned that to him. And then they were asking for body punches, but I think that he was so locked in to trying to hurt this guy and knock him out and just put everything to rest that, I think that he was very focused on head hunting. And Bivol, he did a great job in his defense and being really slick. So it was a good fight. I don't agree with it was great, but I thought it was a really good fight. I think the second one could be a great fight. And I say that because if there's anyone who's gonna make an adjustment and it's gonna be more impactful, I think that side is gonna be Beterbiev. Because he has the punching ability to make an impactful, to make a highlight of that level. Bivol, I think he could counter Beterbiev, maybe put him to sleep. You never know. Chuck left hook, a la Ricky Hatton, a la Mayweather on Ricky Hatton. That could happen, but it's more probable for the guy with the incredible knockout ratio to knock out the other guy. Now, he has a 90-something% knockout ratio since he went to 20 to 12 rounds, right? So if we believe the statistics, out of 2 fights, Bivol just, he's either the outlier who's not gonna get knocked out, or he's just gonna be another victim. He just happened to be that 7% that was left over. I honestly don't know, but if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Beterbiev. I think that this second time around, he now has proved to himself that this guy is not only on his level, but I think he's the one who walked away with if I did things differently, I think I could win. Bivol, I think he could win as well. I don't know. It's kind of 50. Give me 55-45 Beterbiev. That's how close it is, to be honest. I wouldn't say 50-50 though, because someone won the fight. So it can't be 50-50. Someone's coming in with a mental edge, and that's the winner from the last fight. Bivol's focus on revenge, and I think that could ultimately make him change his game plan to where he's not gonna exchange though. He's not gonna exchange. He already said that. He's too smart. I saw interviews with him leading up to this fight. I think he's gonna come with a different game plan, but so is Beterbiev. And the style that Beterbiev brings, it all ends the same in the last 3 rounds. He's not slowing down, and he's coming on top of you. And you better hope you have that conditioning, because he proved it. And he's knocked out people in late rounds. So we'll see. Give me Beterbiev, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bivol won. It would be nice to see a crazy knockout from Bivol, and then we could see a crazy third fight. Then we could get Canelo in that undercard too, or vice versa. Bro, that'd be crazy. Who knows? But then let's go to the undercard. Let's go with after that. Hold up. Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. Dubois is actually doing pretty good lately. Joseph Parker, I really haven't kept up with him, but I know people are hyped for this fight. I was saying, I'm not quite sure if Dubois is going to pull it off against Joseph Parker, but give me Daniel Dubois just based on the highlights I've seen of him lately. He seems to be on a streak and on a fucking, get back tour. So let's see. But ultimately, we all know that at this weight class, it's all Usyk, baby. So it's like, if your name is not like at this point, I don't even know who could beat that guy. He's proven himself to be like, I don't know, above Tyson Fury, which is wild. Which before the last fight, I don't know if I could have said, but that last fight, insane. Then we have Shakur Stevenson versus, it was supposed to be Floyd Schofield, but Schofield. I saw that Floyd cannot make it. Shakur Stevenson versus TBD. This is in the UFC, so whoever they put in there, honestly, is going to be a blowout for Shakur Stevenson. And we'll see if he even fights. By the time I upload this video, there's probably already a fighter that he's gonna fight. But like in boxing, if you don't train for this guy, if you don't make a game plan, a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, it's gonna be a long night for you, bro. It's gonna be a long night. That guy, you need you need to be a Floyd Schofield to be athletic and most likely African American, because you're gonna have to match his athletic ability or else you're cooked, bro. That dude, he could box and he's athletic and he's very strict in boxing. Like, not gonna deviate from coming to fight. Regardless of who it is, he's getting a boxing lesson. So if you want free money, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be a crazy fucking favorite. Then we got Carlos Adames versus Hamzah Sheeraz. Elijah Miraz. I don't know. This font's ugly, bro. Who does this font? Jesus. Carlos Adames, I don't know, guys. I don't know who's this. So again, dealer's choice right there, baby. Whatever you guys want. Then we got Vergil Ortiz versus Israil Madrimov. This is the guy that gave Terrence Crawford a really good fight. Actually, he gave him a bit of fits, so I'm excited. Vergil Ortiz versus Israil Madrimov, bro. I don't know what you guys think. Vergil Ortiz is good, but that dude gave Terrence Crawford fits. So I think we're gonna get a really high action fight. I think that it's gonna be one of those fights where there's going to be a lot of punches, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. Damn. Vergil Ortiz is a good prize fighter, bro. He could fight, but that dude, I think he has an Olympic background, and he just came off fighting Crawford not too long ago. Vergil Ortiz is no Crawford, so I'm saying based on experience, I hate to do this, but give me Madrimov just based on that. Vergil Ortiz, though, he's no slouch, so if you're looking for a live dog, Vergil Ortiz might be that. I haven't even looked at the odds, so if he's a dog, baby. Then we got Zhang Zhilei versus Agit Kabayel. I don't know, but Big Baby Zhang, bro. Give me Big Baby Zhang by knockout. Then we got Joshua Batista versus Callum Smith. Callum Smith, what is this? Interim light heavyweight. Yeah, man. So give me Callum Smith versus Joshua Batista, but we'll see, bro. We'll see. Sorry, I didn't see that the camera was falling down. But that's pretty much my breakdown. I know I only focus on the main event the most. Honestly, that's the one I know the most. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with boxing as much, but I wanted to get this video up as soon as possible because, dude, it's crazy that the hype hasn't been as high as, let's say, UFC 300. When UFC 300 was coming around, I don't know if it's just my algorithm, but based on the views alone, the face-off videos, the arrival videos, the UFC, every time it's a giant card, like UFC 300, right? Something of that level, or not even that level. Let's say Poatan versus Israil Adesanya, for example, the second fight. Go look at those embedded views. The series of embedded alone, the production value of embedded, is so high for the cost that they do it for, that it's insane that, for the amount of money that the Saudis are putting into this card, there is not a lot of hype. My media that I consume for boxing is talking about it, but anything outside of that, fight sports wise or anything like that, no one's really talking about it. But I feel like when the UFC had these big fights like UFC 300 or, every time Izzy fought Poatan, that was a huge fight, both times. But, I don't know. And let's move on to UFC Fight Night. We got Henry Cejudo headlining versus Song Yadong. Henry Cejudo, he thinks he's got another belt run inside of him. You know what Henry Cejudo has inside of him, bro? If you've seen my episode on Brandon Moreno, you know why I feel a certain type of way of Henry Cejudo. I think he's I don't know. He needs to come clean to what happened with Brandon, because they were boys and now they're not. But anyways, Henry Cejudo's fighting versus Song Yadong. Henry Cejudo, with this win, he thinks he could stay relevant enough to get another title shot. I'm not quite sure. I know Dana White does like him a lot, so who knows? But Henry Cejudo in his last outing, I don't know, bro. This is a risky fight. I feel like he's getting into the territory or where, what is this fight? Is this about Song or is this about Henry? And I think the story here is, can Henry still fight at a level where he has another title run? And a guy like Song Yadong could make you look good if you are old Henry Cejudo. Is this a cakewalk? Or you're gonna look like the older fighter that you are, you know? And I think that's what Henry's facing here. A motivated Henry Cejudo cannot be counted out. Although I don't like him, give me Henry Cejudo at 16-4. I mean, that's not a bad record, and he's a champ, so he has that pedigree, and he's an Olympic gold medalist. You know, if he looks old here, he's gonna have to start thinking about what he's gonna do after fighting, though. I mean, I know he's retired once before, but we'll see. Then after that, we have Brandon Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. Brandon Allen, he's kind of been on a streak lately. Anthony Hernandez is 13-2 in 1-0 contest. In this case, I really haven't seen Anthony Hernandez fight. I have seen Brandon Allen fight a couple times. Give me Brandon Allen for this one. But really what I'm watching for here is the Henry Cejudo fight. Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto. That's going to be a good fight. Gene is 16-0, so he's trying to crack his way into the UFC. Rob Font is, I think he's filling in because it's a catchweight, and knowing Rob Font, probably do something like that. Then after that we have, but for that, give me Gene. I mean, 16-0 for a reason. Rob Font is always a tough night at the office, but I don't know if he could pull it off against the rising, clearly a prospect of some sort. If you're 16-0 in the UFC, those are not easy wins. Not at 16-0 and not in the UFC. Actually, I don't even know how many of those are in the UFC now that I think about it. Talking a lot of shit. I don't know. I feel like going for Rob Font, bro. I like Rob Font. Terrible at this. Should do a little more research. I will next time. The thing is, I just been out of it, man. I've been out of it so much because of the wedding. I kind of had to like unplug for a little bit and just focus on that for a couple months and lock in. Now I'm working my way back into all of this. Slowly but surely, everyone. Slowly but surely. Give me Gene, though. 16-0. I mean, in his UFC record. Let's see. After that, we have Gene Silva versus Melsick. And honestly, after that, they're all canceled. We had Barbosa fall out. Oh, okay. So Rob Font was supposed to fight Dominic Cruz. So Rob Font is coming from a good camp then. So give me Rob Font for sure. This Gene dude's 16-0 though. See how I flip-flop? Terrible at this shit, bro. But yeah, give me Rob Font. Rob Font looks crispy all the time, bro. He's got that great boxing. So all right, so that should do it for this week. I know it's a little bit shorter and we went a little bit deeper into the boxing card this week. That's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes we talk a little bit more boxing. Sometimes we talk a little bit more UFC. But I hope you guys like this episode. Let me know what you guys think. Who's going to win this week? Do you have Bivol? Do you have Beterbiev? A lot of championship fights, a lot of shaking and moving due to that Turkey Al Sheikh money. So we'll see what's going to happen this weekend. I'm personally excited. I don't know if I'm going to watch all of them. I'm going to try to watch all of them. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you're going to watch them. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Cost you $0 to share and subscribe. And then we can start making other cool videos, man. I want to start making more videos like with my original content. So I don't have to be like, you know, a story of so-and-so. Just making more original stories, more original content. So you guys could tune in and add a little bit of value to your life as well. And say thank you for subscribing. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this has been another episode of Highly Debated, episode 4 now. And then I'll see you guys on Sunday. I'm going to try to record on Sunday morning or possibly even Saturday after the fights. And then that way I can get it up by Sunday noon. Talk to you then. Peace. Mic check, mic check. What is going on? Mic check. What's going on? Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.